Hi, my name is Tomás Ryan and welcome to the Teagasc Pig Research Facility based here in Moore Park in County Cork, Ireland. Here we have an example of this best practice, which is increased floor space allowance and increased solid floor for grow finisher pigs here in our production system. So what we're going to do in a minute is just take a quick look through the building. What you can see here from the outside is just probably the outside ventilated area and the automatic curtain we have. And as we go through the building, we'll look at the details that the pigs have in a little bit more detail. Okay, so welcome to the inside portion of the building that we were just standing outside in front of. In here now we're in the naturally ventilated portion of the building. As you can see, the building is stocked with pigs who are almost at end of life cycle stage at the minute now. So just this must give you an overview of the house. We have 8 pens. Each pen is approximately 34 square meters in size. It's got an internal portion and an external portion. This external portion, which is naturally ventilated, is where I'm standing in at the moment. The pigs here are stocked at roughly 30 pigs per pen. So I suppose the equivalent space allowance per pig is about 1.2 square meters in this space. If we just compare that to our conventional stocking system in our main unit, that's probably a 20% increase in space allowance for running at a square meter in our conventional unit. So out here, I'm standing on solid floor at the moment. The internal portion and the external portion is solid floor. And then down at the very front of the pen, we have our slatted region, which is our dunging and toilet area. This is cleaned underneath it's a shallow tank, cleaned by a scraper every 2 to 3 hours during the day, which removes all the solid and fecal matter from this environment and takes it out to a sealed tank outside. And I suppose that then is covering off the second purpose of this building, which is trying to reduce ammonia emissions in pig production, which obviously has its own benefits both for the worker and for the animal. But so I suppose the one feature on the shallow tank we have here is we haven't gone for a V-shaped tank. We've gone for a flat floor shallow tank, which removes the feces and the urine as one movement. That was basically down to really, I suppose, the cost component of trying to install that kind of tank on this build. The build cost for this type of I suppose approach, or this type of building over conventional, is going to be somewhere in the region of about 3 times the cost of a conventional finisher place. So the cost, I think, for this building on a per pig basis is about €1,200. Currently, we have dry feed system in this building. So there's a higher feeder space allowance in this building as well. And that is all aimed, I suppose, the welfare approach within this building, which is trying to help to rear pigs with intact tails. So coupled with the space allowance, the feeder space allowance. And I suppose the last really good approach to this building is the functional zones that the pigs have. So in a moment we look at the internal section, which we call maybe the bedroom or sleeping zone. Out here I'm standing in is more the exploration and feeding zone, and then as I mentioned at the end of the pen, that's flatted, is the toilet zone. Okay, welcome to the inside portion now that I just spoke about. So this area is mechanically ventilated. We run a positive pressure system in here as opposed to the naturally ventilated system outside. And that's really, I suppose, about reducing any drafts that might come into this bedroom or sleeping area. It's a much smaller and cozier zone. The ceiling is much lower here. It's only like an 8-foot ceiling. And then we have the canopies fitted as well, which really kind of creates that microclimate for when the pigs come out or at weaner stage. The concrete, I suppose, is the next to solid floor. It's slanted here, just to aid any runoff down to our drainage system. And it also holds the heat really well, which is a really good benefit, I suppose, in the winter time when you want to make this a more attractive space for the pigs to sleep in. So I suppose the main disadvantage in this type of building system really is around increased labour requirements. For this approach, we're looking at probably 1.5 times the amount of labour needed over a conventional system. That's really required around the initial training phase of pigs coming into the building, and also the end phase in the increased hygiene needs and increased cleaning needed around larger pigs at that time. From a European scale, I believe this practice is very repeatable. A lot of countries would already have these types of buildings in existence. I suppose the main variables really from country to country are focused around climate and weather conditions. So, really hot summers and really cold winters, you have to take a different design approach. So, thank you for watching.